What is up, JG603, owner and operator of TSW Wrestling, and yes, indeed, that week has finally arrived. 603 Mania, baby, is here. Huge week, 16 matches to talk about. Rankings, utmost important. Let's dive right in. It's a big one, guys. Big one, guys. First of all, first and foremost, a little honorable mentions and the goodbyes, of course, as well. Yimmy, Chef, and Fenda sliding out the back of those rankings, as you can see here. Also, some honorable mentions. First of all, Z-Rock, whoops, qualified last week. Didn't end up having him on the rankings, but will be in that hardcore chamber match, of course. We've got a great debut by that dude, Deb, on the honorable mentions. Bama, tag team partner. What's going to go on with that situation? Who is going to step up with the Roll Dat Nation? And, of course, a couple other big ones. We got Civ, Animal, that big showdown, BMI #1 contendership. Huge matchup right there. First time ever we're gonna see this type of just big meaty men matchup here for Animal as he's bulking up. So we hear. We got Deke versus Tampa. B-Cot title to touch on. B-Cot's looking good, man. B-Cot is looking good. Of course, talk about Chris and Swain as well. But last but not least, before we get in these rankings, got to touch on the referee for Dargan versus Brandon. Of course, Pat McAfee nominators. Absolutely shocking moment there. But speaking of shocking, let's start these rankings off. In at number 30, previously unranked, we're going to go to my man PA Tony. Of course, bit of a losing streak, losing the Tony title week after week. But you know, this week, no Steve Ballin, not sure the whole situation there. Tony comes out, by the way, some craftsmanship, and whittled some type of wood, a beautiful, like not a birch, certainly a darker wood, a mahogany, maybe an oak, maple, possibly a beautiful belt. But big victory there over Boom Boom Colt Cabana, and we can confirm Tony will be a part of that Rumble at 603 Mania to try to qualify for the Elimination Chamber there. That is a big matchup, and sliding with a couple tough losses as of late is going to be DJ Scorpio, and unfortunately connecting to Swanee here. You know, tough tags and single losses week after week for these guys, but they are still facing the Founding Fathers at 603 Mania. Momentum might not necessarily be on their side, but, you know, TSW sometimes be a little bit more luck than skill, as you guys are probably well aware. Plus the Cruiserweight versus Super Heavyweight matchups we've seen before. That's going to lean to the small daddy sides. That's going to be a fun one to check out. Speaking of some Cruiserweight action, speaking of the aforementioned Elimination Chamber match, of course, Yimmy's in there. We talked Z-Rock, you know, we now know Roldy will be defending the title there. Also in there, big qualifier for Emma Rose. Controversy abound, certainly. Of course, was expected to face Rowdy, former tag partner, a slight rival, and then all of a sudden, Shrades comes out, attacks, assaults, Rowdy time. Completely uncalled for. They will be facing off in some no-holds-barred style fighting is Rowdy and Shrades at 603 Mania. They got to get that thing done in the ring, but Emma took advantage, certainly, and kind of fought a little more dastardly than we typically expect, so I'm interested to see how that carries forward going on here. And of course, the other hardcore qualifier did it in a multi-man match. A little bit more credit here. We're talking Schmitty here. Schmidt happens, and it could happen at 603 Mania. Will Schmitty win his first singles gold here in TSW? Now, let's get into the official TS25. Kicking things off, I mean, you know, some risers, some fallers this week, but I looked at them like, you know what? We're going to keep ourselves 25, because of course we are. Looking good, of course. If you guys want to check out that TSF and W merch, make sure you pick it up. I don't think it'll be in time for 603 Mania, but I like to think you'll have it in the very near future after that. But moving right along, we got Steph dropping back a couple spots here. Really tough run by Steph as of late. Always looks good in the singles matches, but does tend to struggle when it's a multi-person matchup, tag, or otherwise handicap this week, of course. So can't really fault too much, but of course, we can confirm last woman standing, first time ever that stipulation will be used. We're going to see Huggies looking to face Steph, and Steph doesn't have a lot of momentum. Huggies got all the momentum in the world. We're going to see a lot of that this week. Going to be fascinating to see how these underdogs, whether they should be or maybe even shouldn't be, are going to work things out here. Staying pat at 23. We couldn't bump rocks here. It was, of course, set to face Animal in a bit of a rematch of sorts of the Congregation and the Animals rivalry, considering the Wolfpack. Of course, the Wolfpack, worth mentioning if you guys don't remember, will be in that tag team turmoil at 603Mania. Of course, we're looking at Team Canada after the controversy between Clap and the Luch and Adams situation. Of course, Team Canada calls out the Clap Army, BDE Army, however you may want to call it. Of course, that's going to be Sap, Daddy, and Vibes. But it's tag team turmoil. Two other teams in there, and we're talking the Wolfpack, and we're talking the Vikings of Stony and Jumbo, of course, teams that were very much so central to the trios titles, fittingly enough. But speaking of those trios titles, we know Rock's looking to win those trios titles at 603Mania and end the long run here of Team America. Speaking of Team America, not yet, almost there. In between, we've got Joker PhD. The doctor is in the house. Always love when the hands glitch through the body. That's always a great look. But of course, Joker, not much going this week. Did stand tall a little bit there in that brawl, but then got taken out by Raw in the back half. Huge matchup with Phineas and Herb. Of course, Joker versus Finn. World Heavyweight #1 contendership. This is a massive match for both men. First time either of these guys, I believe, will be challenging for the Heavyweight Championship. So this is a huge opportunity for both of those competitors. But we touched on the trios titles. Let's just knock them out right here. Cap Nurk here at 21. You know, normally Cap would get a little bit more of a boost due to past title history, but when we're in this part of the rankings, doesn't super matter too much. Plus, wins lost as of late, a little important only because, you know, we can put DT Kopak right there in that very order, and we're clumping back DT2 there as well. Was up at the 13 spot, dropping back now to 18. The other guys just falling back a couple spots there, just kind of the nature of this rankings this week. Of course, DT2 part of that cruiserweight ladder match at 603Mania, unable to win that triple threat for momentum, but that man who did do it, we're talking LBJ, going from 24 up to 17. Big jump of 7 here. Could very well be looking at a 2-time cruiserweight champion, and of course, with the way the dates fall, would then become the longest reigning cruiserweight champion in TSW history. Big opportunity abound for LBJ and DT. And talk about opportunity, talk about seizing opportunity. Will we see the first ever 2-time Universal Champion when we're talking about AJ, aka Night Sky? Unbelievable promos, by the way, this week from the whole roster, frankly. I mean, we had 6 elite promos from some of the best here in TSW. So, to be honest, even if some of these guys hadn't won, they would have gotten a little bit of boost, because I'm so here for these promos. Send them over, baby. Big week in TSW, big week for AJ, of course. Big matchup against Boxy. Originally, that was certainly a big matchup, but man, this went from a regular match, you know, maybe middle of the card, upper mid card maybe, but this is now firmly at the 4th spot here at the top of the card. They're gonna be putting in a roof on that steel cage. Of course, steel cage 2 weeks ago. We're putting a roof on that Hell in a Cell. Boxy versus AJ. That is the matchup of a damn lifetime. The Battle of the Dutch will be spoken of for eternity. And talk about cages, talk about battles, we'll be speaking of for eternity. We talk about war. We talk about war games. We are talking Yunk here, up to 15, by the way. Without a contendership, without a title, this man is just trucking everybody. I'm so impressed. This week, this dude gut wrench powerbomb James P through the fucking barricade. I didn't even know that was possible. That is the coolest shit I think we've ever seen. And that alone is gonna earn him a bump in the rankings here. But going from 19 up to 15. War games at 603Mania, of course, talking the Apocalypse versus the BCOD XHG connection there. But the big thing is what's going on afterwards for Young. First of all, will he keep that undefeated streak first and foremost? I absolutely hope he does, and want to see the dastardly heels fall there in that matchup. But you got to think, if at the very least, Young Roy tag trios possibility. But man, Young, super heavyweight. We know we got a contendership for that settled as well. But I mean, he could fit in a lot of places. Hardcore, Universal. This guy's gonna be one to watch out for going into 2K25. Another guy to watch out for. By the way, I don't know if Sir's real at this point. Very confused, mixed signals here. We got big time TS2 sweet coming here at 14. Did take a 1-spot jump. Did lose, but man, has he been on a heater lately. Plus, again, dude, the promo. I'm gonna rank you more for that. I'll be honest with you here, guys. Promotion. It's big, not only for me and the brand, but of course you as a wrestler. Makes your wrestler feel a bit larger than life, and we love that in TSW. Talk about larger than life. Talk about the promos. I might get in trouble for dropping him back a spot, by the way. We got the Clap Daddy here, Johnny Collapse, of course. Sues his way into the ladder match at 603Mania. Dastardly, the Wall Street merchant, the roll-up merchant, as LB likes to say, and this guy is causing some ruckus in TSW, to say the least. Two-time cruiserweight champion, one of two to do that, I do believe. Of course, longest reigning combined reigns, not solo reign, but could be a three-time cruiserweight champion. And I got my eyes on Clap right now. I don't know what he's up to, but he's certainly up to no good in TSW. Up to a little bit of good here at 12, the 1-2, the 2, the 2K. Brandon 2K, see how we got there real quick. Of course, Brandon 2K taken out last week. Could not have been nearly close to even 75% this week, but was able to run off the heels of Dargon and Pat and Taters. Of course, we now know McAfee. Dargon not reading the fine print there for his special guest referee. Just goes, yeah, Patton, yeah, okay, yep, do it, yep, I got it done, Dargantics B. Well, guess what? Dargantics, no, you didn't, because it turns out that Brandon 2K actually pulled a fast one on you. But not coming at 100%. Pat looked a little banged up too, but we're going to see how that shakes out. Will Brandon 2K recapture that BMI title that he helped make so prominent this year? I'm so excited for that. And talking about BMI, we talk about the inaugural BMI champion, King Cheddar. Again, I don't know why he doesn't have his robe and stuff and he's doing this. I don't know. I kind of like it. I'm kind of into this. But here we go, guys. Speaking of excellent promo, If I'm choosing, he's Golden Mike of the Year. I think he has consistently put out the best one-liners, the best content, the most promos. Of course, no slights to others, because I mean, Dargon, Big Time Clap, all fantastic contenders. Joker's put some stuff out. Of course, we got some goodies this week, maybe even some promos next week. But man, Ched really does capture an audience and just say something that makes you go, what the absolute fuck did this man just say to me? But King Ched, possibly the first ever two-time TSW heavyweight champion at 603Mania. History has its eyes on you. Yes, that was a Hamilton reference. Moving up to 10 here. You know, maybe controversy on this one, but we're going to put the misses here at the 10 spot, paired with Jen, who stays at 9. Reigning, defending women tag champions. I do believe at this point probably the longest reigning, certainly longest combined reigns here for the Mrs. JG. But a big tag matchup. We touch on, of course, who is Bama going to bring the party. We know it's not Miss Chico, Miss Huda. We know it's not Steph. I got no clue. I don't know where this thing's going to play out. But I absolutely can't wait. And matches I can't wait for. Again, where I'm a little biased on, we're talking that cruiserweight ladder match. I'm so excited for this thing. 6-man ladder match. Accione scores thy King Khan, formerly thy unit. A lot of controversy there, left, right, and center. But what will happen at 603Mania with Khan with that belt? We will find out at the showcase. Once like Khan's ready, of course, he's got his Lambo attire, so to speak. Moving on up to the 7 spot, takes a jump here. Swapping with Con Finn, another win, tag action, trios tags, and Finn's on a roll. What can we say? Of course, we'll be defending the tag titles early in 603Mania. We'll be, of course, facing Joker later on in the show. We know that is going to be an ambulance match. Joker called his shot. Maybe we're going to put that stipulation elsewhere, but I tell you what, you call your shot in TSW, and I'm going to do my best to make sure you have it. Phineas and Herb, will he walk out not only tag champion, but the number contender for the heavyweight championship? Oh, how we will find out when we get there. And now here we go, the top 6. Some of the best champions in TSW history hold the belts right now. And we're gonna start with Dargantics. Dargantics, baby. Of course, he got Dargantics himself this week. Found out the Pat was Pat McAfee, not Potatoes. Mind fucking blown. M. Night Shyamalan style twist. Next thing you know, we're gonna find out he's just been dead the whole time. Wouldn't that be a fucking twist and a half? So Dargan's sitting here dropping back 1 spot because he did get outdone, and other people did in some spots do a little bit more this week. We'll talk in a minute, but you know, the Dargantics twist I think is enough to drop him back at least a spot, because nobody out Dargantics the Dargon, and Dargon just got Dargantics by Dargantics. It's just, it writes itself here. I know that made no sense, but that's absolutely the point. Coming here at 5, we've got Boxy dropping back 1 spot. Another loss. Trios tag action. They've lost some piece of tag matches before. Can't hate too much on that, but that promo can't bump you back too much either, man. Absolutely electric, man. The Battle of the Dutch is absolutely one of the most anticipated matches for Mania, especially kind of a late build to the Goon reveal. But I'm so excited to see these two face off. Hell in a Cell, which by the way, bears worth mentioning. Hell in a Cell was the original stipulation where AJ won the Universal title. So we might have a full circle moment here in TSW. And where are we at with the top 4? We've got Huggies up here. I know we talk about can't really overly juice the trios and these types of wins, but she's on a hot streak right now. Win after win after win, no matter how you're gonna cut it, is great momentum. Of course, going in Steph, last woman standing. Can Huggies be the first person to defeat Steph twice for a title, send her packing down the division? We talked earlier too about how Steph certainly has some questions regarding tag and trios, you know, like not great luck. And so this is a big match for Steph. It's an absolutely massive match for Steph, but so much bigger for Huggies. It is a real proven moment for legacy type things. Talk about legacy, talk about greatness. Multiple tag titles, Rumble winner. We're going to touch on Raw Dog. Of course we are. Looked good this week, standing tall again. Finally got a win back, which is could not have happened at a better time. Of course, able to get the win over big time with the comms band. Sir not there, showed up later. So at least we know Sir's floating around somewhere out here, not an empty. Nope. All right, got it. Nope. But of course, Raw looking to become the heavyweight champion, kind of complete his journey, his odyssey in TSW. He's always said he's the top merch seller, the top name, the top dog is the Raw Dog. 5 brand champ, he says, never held singles gold in TSW. Will 603Mania be the time to shine? Or will we see Landmark retain here at number 2 again this week? I tell you what, Landmark looked really good this week, big tag win, but obviously Roldy defended the title in an absolute banger against a debuting Dev, who, by the way, I wish we brought that guy in a little bit sooner because he looked phenomenal in that matchup. Looking forward to see what that dude Dev has got for us in 2K25. But Landmark, of course, the first ever champ, Mr. Money in the Bank cashing in, of course, heavyweight champion, half the tag team champions, 2-time BMI champion. I mean, the list just goes on. And of course, main eventing 603Mania is the next thing in Landmark's repertoire here. Of course, we'll be defending against the Birds and tag action, but that main event, that one got all the eyes on it. But speaking of eyes on them, Roldy, second week in a row, top of the rankings, hot streak, and then some. I couldn't tell you last time we've seen Roldy on his back for a pin, and the answer is because you've never seen him on his back for a pin. He's undefeated outside of a Royal Rumble. Roldy is undefeated in TSW, but he steps into the Elimination Chamber, 603Mania, 5 other competitors, 4 we know, 1 set to be decided inside a Royal Rumble at the show itself. And speaking of that show, we're just going to touch on a couple of the big matches we might not have maybe mentioned, kind of give you a quick breakdown of the card, of course. We've got that Cruiserweight ladder match of Khan, JG603, LBJ, Clap, DT2, and Mr. Benjamin. We've got the tag titles, Founding Fathers versus the Birds. We've got that 20-man Rumble to figure out who's in that hardcore elimination chamber. Of course, we'll be joining Roldy, Z-Rock, Yimmy, Schmitty, and Emma after this week. We've got the BCOT Heavyweight Championship. Tampa reigning defending against Deekster. Rumors of a possible career for title, or maybe career versus career, certainly swirling drama possibilities. Of course, we've got the women's tag titles, the Queens versus whoever Bama can bring to the table. We've got War Games. We've got Rowdy versus Shrades in a blood feud. The tag team turmoil. Of course, we touched on Canada, Wolfpack Vikings, and the Clap Army. We got Animal, Savart, BMI Championship on the line. We've got Joker Finn in that ambulance match. And how about the trios titles? Team USA, of course, going against the Congregation America. On your side in this one, we've got Boxy, AJ, Hell in a Cell, last woman standing, Huggies and Steph. That beautiful special guest referee, Dargan versus Brandon 2K, and of course our main event, 603Mania, Landmark versus Raw versus Shed versus Big Time. Absolute banger of a card. Gonna be a banger of a show. Make sure you guys are locked and loaded. March 6th, 603Mania, live from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Well, kind of live from Tampa, but live from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Tell your friends, call out of work sick, do everything to be there. Until then, guys, y'all been the best. Y'all been too sweet. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, notification, activate all that good stuff. Woo! Appreciate you. Make sure you're grabbing Rogue Energy too. Code JG603, baby. Delicious and nutritious. Well, maybe not nutritious.